Halloween is fast approaching, but it's not the only thing to be afraid of this year. It wasn't always this way, and it all starts with this little building behind me.
One can might make the difference between someone having a full-course meal this season.
Mental health services are always available to students. However, some people may not be so lucky. Right now, the station is pretty empty, but during the daytime, students line the pavement waiting for their next ride.
Each of these flyers, brochures, and business cards are just one of the many programs represented here in Fayetteville. Cyclists start with a list of goodies they have to get from different stores around the city. And once they have those goodies, it's time to hit the trails and sidewalks of Fayetteville. While 10% of students identify as Hispanic on campus, there's no specific demographic for Central Americans. If you think it's time to ditch the phone, take a break and reset your mind, you're not alone.
Doom scrolling is a relatively new concept coined back in 2019. With what little research has been done, studies already show it's more complicated than it may seem. Doom scrolling is the practice of extensively scrolling through negative content.
I find myself wasting a lot of time on it, and I don't know, it's really frustrating.
University studies show around 75% of college students have doom scrolled. Professor of psychology Jennifer Vayu ran the lab that conducted such studies.
Looking at doom scrolling is an interesting time capsule.
Many students feel doom scrolling is the product of social media algorithms.
The way they're set up, it's kind of like predatory in a way. It tries to keep your attention no matter what.
Some even describe it as a trap.
It's so easy to just fall down that rabbit hole.
Especially considering the new short-form content present in so many social media networks.
You watch one video, two videos, and they will immediately start putting those into your feed as you scroll.
This leads many to grow tired about content online.
If you think it's time to ditch the phone, take a break and reset your mind, you're not alone. A 5-year survey concluded last year found that almost 40% of the general population avoids the news entirely to stay away from negative content, up from 29% in 2017.
Some say their worries stem from the negative content feedback loop seen in social media, but Vayu says there's more to it.
People are keeping themselves in that loop. They don't need the social media companies to do it for them when they're in that doom scrolling headspace.
The university studies show that most students doom scrolled in reaction to a large event, mostly tragedies. In fact, 60% of students surveyed in the study said they doom scrolled to find others that felt the same way they did.
I feel like it kind of boxes me into an echo chamber where, I'm constantly being shown and told exactly what I want to hear and be told.
Vayu says, when in that headspace, it's hard to get out of it.
It's like you're in a car, like stuck in the mud, and the tires are moving, and they keep going, but you're not moving anywhere. You're just sort of staying in the same place.
Connections to mental health are still being researched, but Vayu reports that those with symptoms of depression and anxiety are more likely to doom scroll. I'm Caden Gray reporting live for UATV. Halloween is fast approaching, but it's not the only thing to be afraid of this year. Cybersecurity remains a threat among students, and officials are warning about what are called phishing emails. Now, phishing means to impersonate a reputable source in order to gain personal information. With roughly 3.4 billion spam emails sent every day, it's the most common cybercrime. According to a study from the National Cybersecurity Alliance, millennials and Gen Z are the most susceptible to fall for phishing. The university's senior specialist for governance risk and IT compliance says this puts students at the forefront of her concerns.
Students graduate and they go into their careers. We want to make sure that they don't click malicious phishing emails at their job and bring ransomware to their company.
The university does take action against these emails, such as blocking the senders and monitoring potential scammers. To help identify these scams, fake phishing emails are sent to students and staff at least twice a month. Now, if you suspect that an email is in fact malicious, Parcells says it's better to report it rather than just ignore it. In fact, the Outlook client, our email, has a built-in function just for reporting phishing emails. I'm Caden Gray, reporting live for UATV. Hispanics are one of the largest diverse groups growing in Northwest Arkansas. On campus, the numbers aren't so different, but they don't tell the whole story.
Outside of Hispanic Heritage Month, it seems like we are put to the side often.
The Central American Student Alliance, CASA, aims to bolster Central American representation on campus beyond just Hispanic heritage.
There's a lot more to being Hispanic than just that word.
CASA's founder, Daniela Fernandez, says institutions often don't count subgroups in Hispanic communities.
I just don't think that we are a big enough minority for, bluntly, for them to care about the distinctions between different cultures.
The term Hispanic refers to anyone with roots from any Spanish-speaking country. That includes South America, Central America, much of the Caribbean, and many other nations around the globe. While 10% of students identify as Hispanic on campus, there's no specific demographic for Central Americans.
Nurian Chavez helped to found CASA. Her father, an El Salvador native, fled the country during its civil war.
He told me that he saw dead bodies on the way to school.
Mexicans make up most of the Hispanic population in the area, which Chavez says can lead to misrepresentation.
We have our very own distinct culture, and just being grouped into Mexican culture, it erases all of that.
CASA was originally aimed towards Salvadorians. However, as the idea grew, Chavez and Fernandez decided to expand it to include all Central Americans. I'm Caden Gray, reporting live for UATV.
Fossil Cove has been a staple brewery in Fayetteville for over a decade. This year, they're giving out more than just beer.
For the first time, Fossil Cove joins Cranksgiving.
Anytime we get a chance to collab with our neighboring breweries, it's really fun.
Along with other local businesses and the biking community to donate food. Alyssa Shanahan, the tasting room manager, says the Cove has always been about community.
A big reason for its creation was to bring the community together, to just have a place, like you said, that everyone can come to and, no questions asked, everyone's welcome here.
Cyclists start with a list of goodies they have to get from different stores around the city. And once they have those goodies, it's time to hit the trails and sidewalks of Fayetteville. Then it's time to bring everything back to the Cove. Once here, cyclists can drop off their purchases, and a family that may have otherwise not been able to eat this year can.
Some come to the Cove for its environment.
It's a nice place to hang out. It's got a really chill vibe, and it's just got a really nice atmosphere.
But its community commitment,
A lot of people don't get to have dinner.
is appreciated.
I think that's something a lot of us moneyed folk take for granted.
All Cranksgiving donations will go directly toward the Seven Hills homeless community. One can might make the difference between someone having a full-course meal this season. I'm Caden Gray, reporting for UATV.
Here at the intersection of Dixon and Arkansas Avenue, the lane configurations can be a bit confusing. However, it wasn't always this way, and it all starts with this little building behind me. This building was once a Bank of America, but it's since closed down. Ever since its closure, the left turning lane that was used to get to the bank has been repurposed. That lane now goes straight, and the lane that used to go straight is now for right turns only. This leads many unfamiliar drivers to use the wrong lane to cross. Workers and students frequently near the area, like Juan Hernandez, say it's bound to result in trouble.
The fact that people being in the right lane and it's a straight road, I feel like they'll have the instinct to go up, and then so will the person on the left lane. That could cause a wreck as soon as they're merging up.
This is just one of many changes made to Dixon Street. Just last year, the city made plans to remove the left turn lanes at the West Avenue intersection to promote pedestrian safety. Now, the city usually posts well in advance about when it's going to be making changes to any streets around the city, but as of late, there is nothing new to add to Dixon Street. I'm Caden Gray, reporting live for UATV News.